Stephen Jones.
Well, starting it off with our time lapse, looking off towards the west, you could see those downpours that made their way through earlier this afternoon into the evening started to clear up, even started to get a little bit of blue skies, especially out towards the west, of course, getting that great sunset as well, thanks to some of this cloud cover that's in the area. Temperature is also quite a bit cooler, started off cooler, but not going to cool off too much more. 72 here in town, 70 for Mertzen off towards the west, still holding on to 79 both in Sonora and Ozona down towards the I-10 corridor, so a good 9 degrees of spread right now across the Concho Valley. Dew points, this is why we can't get too much cooler. 68 here in town, 66 in Robert Lee, 67, 68 for Sonora and Ozona, even 70 off towards the east. Relative humidity indices getting close to that 90% mark, into the 60s as well, but going to be all on the rise through the overnight hours, fueling those showers and storms that we're going to be looking at. And when we're looking at the upper level pattern, why we have this little bit of a low pressure is because we've got that high well off towards the west, as well as one towards the southeastern United States, going to kind of remain in between them for the next few days, helping out some of those rain chances. But by the time we're going into the middle of the week, should start to see a little bit of that ridging building back into the Lone Star State. But right now, the national satellite showing you most of that activity through about Tornado Alley and down here into the Lone Star State as we zoom in. A lot of that from earlier is off towards the Metroplex now, also into the mountains of Mexico, but we're going to see a resurgence of some of these thunderstorms going into the overnight hours. You'll see that on the Futurecast, of course. First, I want to look at the excessive rainfall outlook from the Weather Prediction Center. You can see a bullseye right over the Concho Valley from about San Angelo, and it includes Kerrville as well, just to the south, with that level 3 out of 4 risk for some flooding. So we're going to be on the lookout for that as we go through the overnight hours as well. But latest models do have some good news for the Concho Valley, but maybe some bad news for others as well. We'll see that here for right now. The KSAN radar showing you most of those storms, like I said, towards the Metroplex now. Zooming in on our San Angelo radar, not too much on the screen, mainly off towards the east. Just a couple of bubbles there in Schleicher County, as well as one down on the border of Sutton and Crockett County down there towards Ozona. So we're going to see this is the area we're really watching for some of these storms going to be firing off. Here's going to be that Futurecast for you, where you can see starting to go through the overnight hours. Most of the heavy stuff going to be just south of the Concho Valley. At least this is what the latest model is calling for. Still going to see some downpours here into the Concho Valley, 4 to 5, 6 a.m. potentially. You can see those bubbles popping up here in Tom Green County as well. So I think that line's going to be about Mertzen to Ballinger, and towards the southeast is really where we're going to be eyeballing for some of that flash flooding potential, especially there. You can see Sonora into Kimball County as well, and by the time 10, 11 a.m. still holding on to some of that activity. So plenty of rain still to come down across the area. Even as we go into Sunday, looking a little bit better tomorrow, so I've lowered the rain chances slightly. Into Monday as well, could see a resurgence into the afternoon, but luckily not quite as encompassing as what we're seeing tonight. You can see here on the rainfall forecast where most of that rainfall is poised to come down. Looks like Kerrville and Rock Springs really going to be in the crosshairs, but we could see some higher totals ourselves here into the Concho Valley. Even throughout Monday, we could see those numbers pop up just a little bit more, so that's really what I'm watching for. For tonight, on the lookout, like I said, want to have ways to get those weather alerts. A good 40 to 50, 60% chance of rain. About 69 degrees, not getting too much cooler. Tomorrow, pretty similar to what we saw today, 85 degrees. Temperature is going to be stifled by those storms and cloud cover, and as we work through the next few days, luckily looks to start drying up, especially by the Tuesday to Wednesday time frame. Temperature is going to rebound as well. 90 degrees there by Wednesday, 95 by the time we're heading into the weekend, with overnight lows back in those lower 70s. That's all for your 7-day forecast, but stick around for more KSAN news right after this break.